Gonna be a couple odds and ends today. I feel like shit, and so I'm taking it easy. But I got a couple things to kind of quick updates on. So the old K is strung up. I'm just waiting on a couple replacement knobs for different options. But it all works, and we didn't have to repair the pickup, so that's cool. So that's the update on that. I'm just waiting on the knobs, and then the owner's gonna pick it up probably on the weekend, and yeah, hopefully this brings a lot of joy to the household. So that's that thing there. Another thing, I took in a bass for a setup and stuff, and came across a problem I've never come across before, so I figured I'd bring this up for anybody who has a G&L bass, maybe even the G&L guitars. I've never seen the set screw thing on the tuners, but on the bass, one of them was missing. So I'm going to show you that real quick. So gorgeous bass, a nice G&L, and the part to pay attention to is right here. These little Allen, they're black Allen screws, right? They hold on. Try not to bang up the thing here. They hold the tuning, this piece, right? They hold that into this assembly. And if those come out, you turn this and they could eventually fall out. There's a couple washers in there that will fall out. So when I pulled out the bass, I noticed that one was missing. So you can see there's a different looking screw. So doing the setup, I'm kind of polishing the frets and getting everything cleaned up and ready to put fresh strings on. And I noticed one of the tuners was loose. So I started tightening them up, and that's when I saw there's a screw missing. So first thing I did was check the floor to see if it fell. Nothing on the floor. I checked the case, all over the case in the compartment to see if it's in the case somewhere, and it wasn't. And so luckily the washers had fallen out, but I caught the washers falling out. There's like a little plastic washer, and then there's a steel one with like kind of like a half circle shape to it that locks in with the shaft of that button, and then the screw goes through. So my tip for that, if you have a G&L bass that has those screws right on the tuners, keep an eye on those, or have your tech, unless you're tech savvy with that stuff, take them out very carefully, and you'll want to use, I use blue Loctite. You can use red Loctite. It locks sometimes a little too good. So I use just this I've got blue Loctite, and then you put it on the threads, let it dry a bit, then you put it on, get it all nice and tight, and then it should stay put, but definitely keep an eye on those, because the little tiny little black screw gets lost very easily. So that's definitely a tip there. So what I ended up having to do is I pulled them all out, of course, and then I took one and I checked in my shop, and I ended up finding a screw. It's a star head or Robertson head screw. Sorry, Robertson is square. Phillips star. I call it star, but it's the Phillips head screw. I ended up finding one with the right size and thread. It fit right in, so I just cut it to length, put Loctite, put that in, because ordering one is going to take way too long, and he needs this in 2 days. He needs it on Wednesday to go to the studio. So this will do. Just something I thought that I would post up in case anybody has a G&L bass. I don't know if the guitars have that. I don't think so, but the G&L bass. I don't know what model this is. This is the L2000. So if you have one of these, keep an eye on those. Have them Loctited, because you don't want to lose them, because then you'll have to, you know, order some more from G&L or go to Home Depot or Canadian Tire or whatever the American version of Canadian Tire is, hardware store, and get the right screw with the right thread to put it in there. So keep an eye on those screws. So that's that one there. I'm trying to think what else there is. Yeah, I'm taking it easy today because some real life shit. I don't know what I ate yesterday, but then somewhere around 7:30 p.m. I started feeling really gross and a lot of pain down the belly. And then at one point, I didn't really know what was going to come out what end. And then all of a sudden, my vision started to tunnel. And then the tunnel vision was starting to darken. I thought I was going to pass out. Eventually passed through that. So I must have eaten something that wasn't, I'm trying to think what it was, but I definitely got some kind of food poisoning. But that was pretty scary. And I joked to my wife, I said, I was kind of scared that it was maybe this was it. This is how I'm going. This is how I'm going to die. And I said that jokingly, but now that I'm thinking about it this morning, or early afternoon now, shit, maybe that joke wasn't too far off from the truth. So take care of yourself, people. Watch what you're eating and make sure everything is I ate, I don't even know what I ate that would have been sketchy like that, but hey, it happens to all of us. There's this guy on YouTube. If you look up Steve 1989, he eats, like on his channel, he eats like MREs, like military ration meals, right? They all come in a pouch. And he's eaten some stuff from like 1960s or World War II or whatever. And I'm pretty sure a few times he's had to go to the emergency room for probably what I experienced yesterday. But I didn't eat a 1960s MRE yesterday. So we went to see a movie. We all ate the same popcorn. So I don't think it's that. We went to see the Minecraft movie with the kids, and it's pretty funny. It was a good little movie. It was a fun time. But we noticed that there was a group of kids in the row beside us that just were throwing candy at the screen, and they had popcorn all over the ground. When the lights turned on when the movie was done, we got up and we saw just the popcorn everywhere. Luckily, our kids are well-mannered, and they didn't leave any mess, but those kids left a huge mess. And I found out last night through looking through reels, before I thought I was dying, and noticed that I guess it's a trend. There's a lot of kids who are going to all these theaters, and they're having a hard time cleaning up the stuff after, because the kids are just, it's like a popcorn bomb went off. So that was the weekend, and that's what led up to whatever the hell I went through yet last night. So we're doing good though. Doing good. Just taking it easy because still, yeah, I'm still not back at 100%. So we're sipping the old Selection Blackberry sparkling water. The only thing different that I consumed yesterday that wasn't the same as my wife and kids was I had a beer. I don't think that came from one beer. Unless there was some weird chicken juice in that beer, then maybe that would have done that. But holy shit, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Actually, I would. Nah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. Do we restring a guitar? Is there any guitar I need to restring? You know what I want to do? I'm going to put 10s on my 335. Maybe I'll do that real quick and bore you some more. Maybe help you sleep. You know, if you put this on when you're trying to sleep and my voice just bores you, then hey, I've helped someone, right? Let's do that, because I've got currently 11s. I was tuning half step down for the band and running 11s on it, but I think I want to go back to 10s because we're going back to standard. The band stuff will probably start picking up back soon. Maybe we'll have an update there. Yeah, let me set up here with the 335 and we'll put some strings on. Hello, friends. Anybody watch Uncle Larry? Always a good time. You learn a lot from that guy. He's got this weird feud with this dude. It's ridiculous when people like to just shit on someone just to make themselves feel better. But it's funny when someone tries to shit on someone who's got, you know, the creds and the resume to back it up. I mean, hey, let's shit on the guy who's going on tour with Vince Gill. Seriously? Why are we doing that? Some people, they just like to watch the world burn. Some people just feel so small inside that they just have to make other people feel like shit, or try to, just so that, I don't know, to numb their misery. I don't know. Some people suck. I find if you're yourself and you're an honest, good person, you end up circling yourself with good people, and the rest of the shit don't matter. It's gonna be one of those like introspective things. So, just in case there's some newer viewers, well, probably there's some newer viewers. There's a few of you at least. Another big reason why I'm doing this, and this is also actually inspired by Tom, is he mentioned he was doing this for his videos for his kids, you know, just to have some kind of document of like a collection of videos to document his existence for when he's gone, right? And perfect segue into my thinking I was going to die yesterday. That's why I'm doing this too, you know? Yeah, I want to bring awareness to my pickup brand. I want to do some guitar stuff, but primarily I want to help people maybe get some insight on guitar stuff or pickups, stuff like that. But also, you know, when I'm gone, my kids can access these videos somehow and, you know, hang out for a bit, you know, and maybe I can still instill some life wisdom or what I've learned in life and pass it on, that kind of thing. And if it helps anybody else, awesome. And if you feel like this is a fun hangout and it makes you feel not so shitty about whatever you're going through, it's another reason why I'm doing this. And, you know, also because, well, what else am I going to do? You know, if I'm not making pickups and I'm not doing design work, I got to do something, or else this brain here starts turning and I go crazy. Yeah, so we're going to 10s on this thing. But I did remember I switched to, so a little bit of housekeeping, I guess. Business-wise, I don't want to make this too much of a my brand down your throat kind of thing, but I have switched to a different label system on my 59ers. So my 59er Origins will have these base plate stickers. My 59er Customs will have the dark ones, The vintage customs are gonna have blue ones. So I'm kind of going on a blue color theme, as you can see, the walls, the shirt. And I can't remember if I swapped the labels on the pickups for the 335. Also, the camera's kind of weird because the camera's there, but I keep wanting to look here. Here, maybe I'm gonna fix this by doing this. One sec. Or maybe I'll kind of, no, this is whatever. It is what it is. You know how we do things here. We're not doing a super pro production. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for scripts. But I got time to turn the camera on for an hour and whip something up. So let's see here. I might have the old labels on this. Yeah. Hey, do you want to see a neck joint on a 2023 ES-335? Trying to move the camera on the stand here. Here, one sec. See that? Long tenon, mahogany neck, maple block. That's pretty cool. All right, so you can see I've got the old label there. So I'm just gonna peel that and put the new one on, just because I can. And because it's easy to do. I'm under that anyway, so I might as well, I'm under the hood on the guitar, so I might as well do it. How did I peel it off last time? I think just a fingernail. So in case nobody's caught on, these are my take on, you know, making it look kind of PAF-ish, you know, the stickers, without being a total counterfeit. I don't want to make counterfeits here or replicas or anything. They're as close to PAF as I can possibly make them, which I think are pretty damn close. While still having my marking, so it's not trying to pass it off as something that it isn't. So, oh yeah, I don't know if I've I mentioned it in the banging on 335, a couple of 335s video. I mentioned if you flip the pickup ring around, so take the pickup out, flip the ring, reinstall it, it'll sit like this, so the pickup will be flatter instead of being like super angled, because there is a lot of an angle here. I don't know what the if the custom shops are the same, but that's a trick to kind of get this a little bit more level with the string, so it does affect the sound, right? Because if it's angled too far this way, the slug side is closer to the string and the screw side is further from the string. So the other way to do that is you can unscrew the pull screws just to raise them to make it even with the top of this. But flipping this around, then you don't have to have pull screws sticking out of the pickup so far. That's my way of doing it. I know some other people do the same thing, and I know some other people don't do it. Some people will swear by not doing that, otherwise it's whatever. People like to bitch. But this works, and it is a proven trick, and I know people use it. So now we'll do this one. Over here. If you've never played a 335, I would go try one. You know, if you got like an afternoon off or something, I would go and solder in here. What the fuck? I would go and try one. They're awesome. They don't sound exactly like Les Paul. You get Les Paul style tones, but there's a certain bigness to the sound. That's lack of better wording. There's a certain bigness to the sound of a 335 that you don't get with a Les Paul. More open and bassy. In case you're wondering what the fuck I'm doing, I'm trying to get a little piece of solder, a little ball of solder out. I don't want to fall in there. There we go. I don't know if you can see. Where's the, see that? Little, that was in there. Now it's not in there. And now we're going to peel this sticker off and put another blue one on. Then we'll put some strings on. And then we'll hang up the phone, as they say. I don't want to bore you too much. You're probably already gone. I'm probably already alone. Nobody's watching this. If you are watching this, why don't you pop a comment, say, hey, I'm watching this. If you're not watching this, or if this video pisses you off or bores you, whatever, just don't say anything. Just keep going. Do your thing. There we go. Another label on there. Now with those stickers, this guitar is going to sound 30 times better. Nope. It's going to sound the same. I only use tone stickers here. I only use the finest of tone stickers. But you got to make sure they're in tune with the tone woods. That is one topic that's pretty controversial. A lot of people have plenty to say about tone. Here's a good one. It relates to that, actually. The fucking people who say, oh yeah, when I feel like crap, or I'm feeling a little off, I tend to have a sailor's mouth. If that bothers you, just go to a different video. This is how I do it. A lot of people like to say that the sound in an electric guitar is not in the wood. It's all in the pickups. As a pickup maker, I'm here to tell you that is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Because the tone is not in the pickups. The pickups are part of the equation. They pull out some characteristics out of the guitar. But for the most part, a good pickup gets out of the way of the guitar and lets the guitar's character come through pickup. If you got an EMG 81, you know, those ones, you're going to get that sound. Yeah, the sound is in those pickups. You could have a fucking concrete guitar with those pickups and it would still sound like Metallica. So if that's the sound you want, that's a good way to go. But if that's not the sound you want, if you want to sound more like the guitar, you maybe don't go that route. But what I'm getting at is good pickup gets out of the way of the guitar, meaning if the guitar sounds like shit acoustically or doesn't resonate very much, it's pretty much going to come out that way out of the amp. The wood does matter but it's more so with acoustics, but with electrics, every little piece counts. Like what this is made of will change the tone. If it's a lightweight aluminum, you're going to get more brightness out of it. If it's the heavy zinc one, you're going to get more mid-range and lows and less highs out of it. It's a small difference, but it adds up to the final recipe. So pickups are just part of the recipe. So why should you upgrade pickups? Well, maybe it's pushing the amp too much, or maybe it's too bright and you want something a little warmer. Maybe you want something a little cleaner. Different characteristics, but it's still going to take the guitar's character and put that through the amp. So a lot of people will say will be butthurt by that, or will disagree, and you can disagree all you want. I've been at this for a long time, enough to know, and making pickups myself, to know that the tone is not in the pickups. There's certain characteristics that you want to fine tune by your selection of pickups, sure, but it's not the whole story. The major part, perfect example. This guitar, this Les Paul here, is a Luthier-made replica. So you can call it a counterfeit if you want. I don't fucking care. It's an awesome Les Paul, but it's not made by Gibson. It's made with old growth wood and Brazilian rosewood fretboard and Eastern maple top. Like the top looks like the old ones do because it's the same type of wood, same family wood or whatever. What I'm getting at is it has more natural low end and more mid-range, so that it almost sounds not as bright as the others, even though it is, because it's got more of that mid-range and some more low mids. It's got more body to it. You hear it acoustically, and no matter what pickups I put in there, I can swap the pickups out of all these guitars, these Les Pauls, and the same basic character and tone, the same tone for the most part is going to stay with the guitar, right? This one here is a 2016 traditional, and that one has less low end, less mids, and more top end. It sounds a little more hollowed out than that one. They're technically made the same, mahogany body, maple top, rosewood fretboard. This one's got a slightly thicker neck. It's more 59 shaped neck. This one is the 50s rounded from a traditional, so it's not quite as fat as this. It's got less lows, less mids, and either more highs, or the highs are more pronounced because everything else is less. And it doesn't matter what I do to that guitar, the pickups, the bridge and stuff, I can kind of make it sound a little bit more mid-rangey and a little less top end with a heavy zinc tailpiece. But with an aluminum, you lose that low end and you gain the brightness. This one benefits from a lightweight aluminum thing. If you had a zinc on there, it'd probably be Mud City. This one here has a 60s neck, less finish because it was a satin, but they all have the same pickups. They're all Alnico 4 59ers, so PAF spec with Alnico 4, roughly the same output, because I have a preference, and that's what I like, so that's what I want for my Les Pauls, and it has less output than that one. It's not as loud acoustically as this one, but it has more mids and lows than this one. And I could swap the pickups between all, and the tone and the character is not really going to follow the pickups. They stay with the guitar. So wood does matter, but so do the bridge posts, so do the stop bar posts, so does the material of the bridge and the tailpiece, right? So do the tuners, so does the nut, so does the fretboard, the body. And with the 335, you're getting a bit more of that wood shaping because, right, the semi-acoustic, semi-hollow body nature of the thing, right? And acoustically, it's louder. So it all translates. So this one here will have, and these pickups in the 335 are the same as these, Alnico 4, roughly the same output, about 8K ohms in the bridge, right? About 7.5K ohms in the neck, right? I forget what the Henrys are. They're like somewhere around, I think, 4 point something for the bridge and 3.9-ish for the neck, something like that. So, you know, I could take these pickups and put in any of those other guitars, and those guitars will still sound like those guitars. And I could take the pickups from the one that has no low end and a lot of high end into this, and this guitar and the 335 will still sound bassier, bigger than this guitar with those pickups in this one. I mean, you can argue with me all you want. You're not going to get anywhere with it, because I've did the A/B comparing, and you know, I was trying to find the true answer without bias, just trying to figure out like how much of that sound is in the pickups and how much is it with the guitar. And guitar has a lot to do with it. You know, you have a shitty sounding guitar, you put expensive pickups in it, it's going to still sound like a shitty guitar. But with expensive pickups in it, you're not gonna get the desired result, basically. So that's where I'm at on that. But anyways, back to the guitar. So we've done plenty of my string lighter. We've done a few restringing videos where I show how I do Gibsons with the one loop over and then the rest under. One of the many tips to keep a Gibson in tune. I don't know if we could see that somewhere. You could see that on this one here. So you got one loop over the string that sticks out, and then the rest are underneath. Funny thing is I usually use my phone as my tuner. My phone is now also being used as my camera. So I'm using this lap steel. A couple more strings, and then I don't know, I'm trying to think of other things I can say. What other holes can I dig myself into here, guitar related? I'll be building a custom pickup soon. I just ordered the parts. Basically one of my P90 builds. So I've got the 2 series, and then I spec them out kind of semi-relating to a year, but not really. And it's going to be a 256, but humbucker sized. So that's pretty cool. Turns out it ended up being someone I was in the same class in back in college. So, small world. So he's got the Les Paul BFG, which, you know, what is that? What does BFG stand for? I didn't know. I was like wondering, does that stand for Billy fucking Gibbons? Which, let's be honest, that would be a pretty cool meaning for those 3 letters, but it's not. It's barely finished Gibson. Or no, barely finished guitar. But they look pretty cool. They've got this like carving on the flame maple top where they would normally sand that out smooth, but they don't do that step, and then they finish over top, so it kind of has like a alligator skin type thing. But those come with a humbucker in the bridge and a P90 in the neck, And he loves the P90 sound he gets in the neck, and the bridge pickup is just squawking because they're not potted, and sometimes they can get squawky. So we're gonna build a custom P90 to fit directly into that humbucker space, which is great because that means there's no modification to the guitar whatsoever. And he likes the guitar, so he doesn't have to sell that and get another guitar, or just buy another guitar. You just keep playing that one. So basically it's going to be like this, but with the 6 screws down the center. Sounds pretty cool. I'm sure it'll sound pretty much like a P90. I think the internal coil will have pretty much the same size and dimension around the bobbin that goes in there. So that'll be cool. Trying to think what else to yap about. I know I had one viewer from Nashville. He said he was stuck in all those tornadoes they had out there, and storms and shit. And well, hopefully everyone there is okay. Pretty wild. We had some storms here too, but they were more like winter storms. We ended up with more snow, but it's finally warming up again. We got some sun. And you just, when you can just kind of smell it in the air, where you finally smell spring. So we've had that about 4 times already this year, but I think this time's gonna stick. My little guy is already asking when we're gonna open the pool. That's not gonna be for a while still. We have one of those above ground Coleman things. It's basically like a giant duffel bag that you fill with water and run a filter and a pump. It's a good cheap way to have a pool without having to pay the cost of putting in an in-ground pool and then maintaining that. If you ever wanted to take it down or shut it down, you just drain it and load that giant bag in the truck and take it to the dump. Dispose of it and you're done. But even though I'm up here in Canada, it still gets pretty hot in the southwest of Ontario. Speaking of which, I don't want to get political or anything like that. I do wish that shit can kind of work itself out between all these countries, especially the Canadian government and the US government. All this fighting talk that we get of the Canadian-American relationship is over. No, it's not. It's not. Come on. Really at the end of the day, we're all in the same continent. We're all pretty similar people. We're all family, really. There's got a bunch of people at the top who are running the show, who are making the laws and calling shots. We're just picking fights for who knows what the fuck. Hopefully we sort that out soon. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like the pickups go, when I make them, I'm sourcing all my stuff from as much as I can from Canada and the United States. Some things, you know, you can't escape having a source from other countries. Like I know magnets a lot of times come from China because that's what they're making them. But I read somewhere that there's a place in the States that is starting to get set up to make pickup magnets. So I'll be paying close attention to that. If you know the company and you're watching this for some reason and you're this far into the video, let me know down there. Right? I don't think we're going to be making those magnets in Canada anytime soon. Oh, I got a new reverb pedal. The UA Heavenly. It's pretty good. I got it on a like pretty big sale. I was you know, go to the store and buying strings, and you see that, you're like, shit. Put it through the till. So I just went from 11s to 10s on this guitar. So one big thing to check is, right, fret the first fret where it meets the body. Doesn't matter what guitar, same thing. Check about, what would that be? I always forget, 7 to 9th fret. You need a bit of a gap. And right now I've got a little too much. Actually, let's see here. That's actually not bad. So you want a little bit of space when you fret at the first fret, and where it meets the body, you want a little bit of space. It means that the neck goes just a little bit, because if it's too straight, not all guitars play nice with a perfectly straight neck. And if it's backbowed, you're gonna buzz all the way from like first fret to the 9th fret kind of thing. So you want a little bit of a gap, but not too much either, because then over here, your action's gonna be too high. But I think the action's pretty good on this. Yeah. 5/64ths on the low E, 4/64ths on the high E. That's pretty much standard Gibson spec. I think I'm getting carpal tunnel. So my hand just keeps bunching up and gets stiff, and then I'm having a hard time playing. Anyways, I bored you long enough. Let's call it a day. Let's call that a video. And watch what you eat. I'll catch you on the next one. Hello, Fergie. Hello, Mason.